I mean, there's only 5 seconds left. They're going to have to be on tower. No one's on tower from those Inklings. Mamba gets 1 kill, gets another kill, and that is going to be a double. It's going to just make sure that no one from Los Inklings can really push the tower far enough, and that's going to be game 1 for the Halibut.
Yeah, that was actually I'm impressed by the strategy. You can tell they prepped this map.
Yeah,
because the way they approached it was like you could tell it was thought out because they had a method that they were pushing the tower. They used their specials the way they wanted to use them.
Missiles this time. Yeah, the Clash Neo, something that I haven't seen in the tournament basically at all. Coming out of just the Halibut. We'll see how that ends up working out. Now, I do think that Curling Bomb and missiles are good here, but they're not going to be good if the Octobrush is just taking out like this.
Oh my gosh, what was that bloodbath? Everybody died except Mamba.
Yeah, Mamba once again going to take out this Inkjet. There's 1 pick.
Was it Mamba last game making those crazy Inkjet shots too?
Well, she was the one that she would get a terrible one and then a gun.
Yeah.
Back to back. So this isn't quite a game-winning push yet, but this is definitely a lot of pressure.
The beginnings of it, though.
Man, that Clash Blaster. Clash Blaster on this map is just so obnoxious, to be honest. It's just, it can always just stand somewhere we're going to abuse the geometry. And there's the missiles, not quite in cover, so that is going to be a punish from that. But look how far the Rainmaker got in the first minute of the map.
Yeah, I think honestly, if they didn't run it up that ledge there, they probably could have knocked it out before Matt even got in position.
Yeah, I think so
down
too.
too much.
I guess they were just going for a safer play. I mean, it is the beginning of the game, so
the beginning of the game with a 22 push is actually really, really good on this map. This is a winnable push, and it's really going to be down to whether or not Los Inklings can kind of create a counter push.
If Los Inklings does get a similar push and they take it to the left and actually get closer to the Rainmaker pedestal, that would be a...
They double inkjetted mid when there was only 1 person there.
Halibut was hiding and he didn't get taken out.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a...
It looks like he might get taken out here. No, bomb goes off. Protects Elhot gets actually taken out by a teammate in that situation. 3v2 situation. Stingray at the ready. This could be bad.
That would have been a great time to go left, but I don't think they could see it like we could see it on the spectator cam. But like, do get those kills that they needed. Now Los Trees is gonna get going. They only need 2 points. Nice.
Yeah. That's what we talked about. Just for the Halibut could have had probably like 6 or something if they had taken the Rainmaker in kind of the more optimal location. Yeah. But you know, there is plenty of time, and like we talk about Rainmaker all the time, having a lead doesn't really matter that much in Rainmaker because just a single wipe can lead to a situation where people get spawn killed trying to do something about recovering from that wipe, and then the Rainmaker just ends up getting all the way to the base. So right now, Matt is defending.
Matt's been playing all this E-leader, but doing pretty okay with the NZAP right now.
Yeah, not bad. I mean,
I'm a little impressed.
Yeah, and you don't really see NZAP being the backup weapon for an E-leader. They usually will kind of go with like some kind of slosher or blaster or something. Like they like to go things that they're really one shot at a time. They don't need quite as much aim, so they can kind of just. You know.
Well, they need aim, but each shot matters rather than
exactly. Yeah,
blasting.
Exactly. I mean, Tri-Slasher used to be the backup weapon for Chargers at the beginning of this game, and now it's kind of like turned to like regular blaster and such. But Los right here kind of control the center of the map, and this is really starting to turn into a situation where Los Inklings is able to hold this lead.
Yeah, they're able to hold this neutral here, but they are dying right now, and it's just Los here does get the kill that they need to kind of keep this in their favor.
Will Mamba get the crazy direct?
Nope, neither one gets it, but Elhot does clean up that spawn jump, so it's really all on Crispy here to kind of stop this.
Crispy ends up getting
up on that.
A splat and assist comes from the teammate over to the left side of your screen, and now this is a situation where there is an Inkstorm and a Rapid Pro alive.
I love this.
Ooh, this is a pretty smart move. I mean, when you have the lead, this is actually not a bad idea because, you know, if the left push does work in the rare case, it gets a lot of points. The problem is, I think that 16 is all that you can get from that left side push until you actually start to get up into the enemy base. You kind of have to like backpedal technically away from the pedestal in order to keep moving. So they really do have to make it really far with this left side push. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, they got a whole minute left, so it's not done for just the Halibut either. Like, if they can kind of get back in, but Los, they're pushing right back in right now, and it's kind of just, everybody's kind of just losing their fights, it feels like.
I mean, we have putts here, and, you know, Rainmaker, you need to stay on the offense for a reason.
Go offense!
You're never quite safe. Being on the offense just means that your opponents can't win, even if you already have a good enough lead. Sometimes, you know, that kind of safe pressure is the best defense. But just for the Halibut, again, down in numbers. They do get a pick here. Mamba kind of in trouble from this blaster, but this is not the kind of these aren't the kind of picks that are going to get them the lead.
Yeah, they're basically playing panic right now because they're not getting themselves in good positions in order to take back the map, and it's just like letting Los Inklings do whatever the heck they want with the map.
Los Inklings definitely.
Okay.
Pop ends up bringing, causing a little bit of havoc top mid. A little bit inconsequential for Los Inklings, but just for the Halibut, this is just delaying the push that they need, and they're really not in position to make it.
They do get some kills they need to open this up. Mamba's got the Inkjet ready to protect the Rainmaker. Oh, Crispy does get in position to stop that, though. And that is it. So that is going to make this 1-1. Los Inklings doing really well after that initial disadvantage coming from just the Halibut.
Yeah, just for the Halibut really kind of brought that momentum from the first game into the beginning of this game, but it kind of waned over time and came to a situation where Los Inklings was just controlling the map. Just for the Halibut just could not get out of their base. And while it does seem like they might have slightly outslayed or maybe even close in slaying, they just really didn't get control. A lot of those picks that they were getting were just defensive plays on their side of the map and not offensive plays that were giving them an opportunity to push past 16.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you looked at it just purely from a positioning standpoint, basically after that first push, just for the Halibut was never in like power positions, really.
Also, another thing to keep in mind is that, just for the Halibut, they try to take the Rainmaker right there. If they had just swam forward, I think that they could have gotten
they could have
a better
beat
score than 16. Yeah, they definitely could have beat 16 there. I mean, we saw how easily Los Inklings was able to get those points when there was someone there to actually defend. The fact that just for the Halibut really didn't have that much oppression when they were in that situation meant that they probably could have got a better score.
Like that score that Los Inklings got, like just for the Halibut, couldn't stop it because they don't really have weapons that were good at stopping it from that angle.
Yeah.
Like the Clash Blaster doesn't really kill super fast. The Rapid doesn't really kill super fast. Like there's enough there for the Rainmaker to kind of sneak through. So it's
one of the weaknesses of that comp. It's really good for being oppressive on the push, but really vulnerable to certain strategies for trying to stop the opponent from getting the lead. But right now we are into a Splat Zones game on Gobi, and I have this feeling in the back of my head that a lot of those downfalls that we saw from just for the Halibut trying to get mid last game could cause them to have trouble, taking back control this game. We'll see how it ends up working. And we do see a Splash of Matic, a Neo Splash of Dynamo. Most Crispy. Drop Roller Special Saber. Now, Drop Roller is a little bit weird on that splash. I could see it being justifiable on the Inkjet. We'll have to see how he ends up working out this Drop Roller Neo Splash. But right now, he's being pretty aggressive. Probably gets taken up by Elhot. A trade right here, but that Special Saber is going to help him out.
Yep, they do get the early pick there. That's the 3v2 there for, what is this? Just for the Halibut. Okay,
yeah, just for the Halibut. They are in a good position now. It looks like this zone is going to stop. Yeah, it's going to switch hands real quick. So there's going to be a little bit of back and forth here at the start of this game. Bubble Blower in position. This is nice shots from Elhot right there after a little bit of a slippery start to that little engagement. Ends up taking out the opponent now. Matt being the sole person alive as the E-leader. This is the problem with the E-leader, man. It's like as soon as other people on your team start getting taken out, the E-leader's effectiveness level goes down, especially even compared to other chargers. Matt, though, has the Inkstorm going up. His teammates are trying to take advantage of it. There are some picks here on the right side of the map, but this Blaster in position to defend, this Dynamo in position to defend, just for Halibut actually somehow still makes it out of there. It looks like someone off-screen actually took out that Dynamo and took out the other opposition. That shooter just knew that it was his job to just get into the zone, get that kill, and get the team.
I mean, that came all off of Teresa there. That was actually like one of the best setups that they could have had from just for the Halibut, but Teresa was patient enough to wait until I think it was Mamba there, like tried to move up into the left and then just jumped on him, and that just basically killed the setup. And now Elhot here getting kills, they get the map back, and that just turns yellow really quick.
All right, Jolt's here going for the flank in conjunction with a good Inkstorm from Elhot, so he might end up being able to kill out. This actually looks like everyone that he could have been pressuring.
Dynamo's here on the enemy side.
This is a really nice thing. But this armor and a little bit of a pincer there ends up taking into that. No, you were right though. That could have been a really good setup if he had just been able to kind of live a little longer, have maybe another teammate pushed up a little bit more. That's one of the issues with trying to figure out what to do on this map, because sometimes it's like if everybody pushes up, they take zone too easily. But if you don't all push up, then the person who's trying to flank just gets taken out by a pincer in that kind of situation. I think it really comes down to using specials in conjunction with the flank. We saw L-Hot throw that supportive Inkstorm, but what really ended up happening was the Inkstorm was kind of...
Yeah. So, yeah, they basically, just for the Halibut, has an easy time getting the zone every time they do, but they're also not holding super, super well. They do have the lead here, but it's really, like, I think it's really just Los Inklings are making good plays on their takebacks.
Ooh, look at this.
Oh, Dynamo! How did that kill him?
I think it's because he hit 2 different targets with that, and it's going to be a situation where Los Inklings is going to be able to take zones. So there's been a lot of this going on where Los Inklings just keeps getting these penalties, but they don't get map control afterwards. This is one of the few times they've been able to get map control. We see the missiles coming down, so these are going to be able to push a lot of people back. Teresa and Los are going to be forced into the center of the map, and if Just for the Halibut can take advantage of that in combat, it'll be good for them, but they are not able to. And now as Los Inklings that's in a good situation. Now the E-Leader is the only member of the team that's taken down. It's actually kind of a good thing for them as they try to take on Just for the Halibut in this little situation here on the left.
Oh, they don't refresh the penalty there. This is going to be a Los Inklings take the lead.
They have the paint now?
Yes, there we go. But now this is a 2v1, just the E-Leader. This is control again for Just for the Halibut, but they do have that penalty to get rid of.
No. L-Hot has... Oh, no, the miss. He was slightly out of range. I'll say L-Hot had that Inkstorm at the ready for like a good 20 seconds where he just pulled it out and started swimming around with it. Unlike missiles, it never runs out if you do such a thing, right? But yeah, the problem is just that Halibut just got taken out during that little exchange, and now Los Inklings is in a dominating position.
Yeah.
There's only a minute left.
Yeah, it was weird because that was looking like a full setup there for Just for the Halibut.
And what the weakness we've seen at Just for the Halibut is this kind of situation where they can't get the map back. Their takebacks are really their only weakness.
Well, I mean, they were taking back pretty okay earlier, but they can't hold for very long either. So it's kind of like a weird scenario where it seems like things just aren't working. Oh, still lives somehow.
Well, the bomb behind her doesn't get her. This is definitely going to be Just for the Halibut zone. Now they have to hold properly. Are they going to push up? Are they going to stay back? Are they going to use specials on zone? Or are they going to use specials to get picks right here? Really depends what happens. Matt does have his Inkstorm at the ready. This is the first special from Los Inklings as they start to push up. The penalty is gone.
Oh!
Anything. Oh, that is such a huge
might be it.
Everything that happens right now is completely critical to the outcome of this game. The Inkstorm is pinning zone right now. Can Just for the Halibut hold this? They can't.
Man, that refresh penalty is really big bummer there. Los getting I think that was a triple off the back of that, but at least a double there. And now Matt's set up as aggressively as, and E-Leader wants to get the shot that they need. And now they only have 10 seconds left, and this is looking pretty grim here, Hitzel. Yeah,
this is definitely looking really grim for Just for the Halibut. They have no specials left. They're starting to push up. First special goes down. Bubble Blower takes out Halibut. Oh, no, they didn't paint the zone.
You just lost all motor function.
Oh my God! I thought that like wiped the entire team with like a bubble blower with like 2 seconds left to paint the zone, but it turns out I kind of drilled all over myself and they didn't paint zone. So
it's just like
that is going to be game. Look
melted.
at the kill. Look at the KDs. So Just for the Halibut completely outslaying as we saw from basically the whole first part of the game. The problem was that they kept losing control in little bursts, and that's something.
Yeah, and when they're working through penalty every time they're holding the zone, they're not getting any.
They're actually not getting anything out of it. And in Splat 1, there was some times where you kind of had this feeling of like, oh, man, Splat Zone. Sometimes I feel like I dominate the game the whole time and we're not actually winning. But in Splat 1, it was a little bit different because losing because the opponent kept getting a penalty was kind of more of like a very specific strat.
Yeah.
Because there really weren't that, besides Bomb Rush and maybe Inkstorm on some maps, but not really.
Ink Strike.
Ink Strike, yeah. You really weren't worried about specials just brute forcing zone. Like there actually had to be some plays
like a Dynamo plus something was like a guaranteed zone cap.
Exactly. But in this game, it's just it's kind of as a natural sequence of events for the team that's not in control to get a bunch of specials that can break the zone. And Just for the Halibut, they either weren't getting the picks offensively, or they weren't having backup near the zone to stop those specials, and it ended up just not quite working out in their favor. And once they lost the zone that one time and had trouble with their takebacks, that was really
I mean, they only really had one takeback that they had trouble with because they were getting it like every time with the bubbles. It's just it only took one time for them to fail. I think
a big part of that is Los Inklings never quite had enough people up after those situations to really hold. They would have some people in the middle map, but not all people. So it was really easy for the people that were respawning from Just for the Halibut that had been taken out
back in.
Yeah, it was just everybody just happened to kind of be there because of the natural state of the game. But once it didn't
Arrow
work
spray.
Oh, there is an arrow spray, so it looks like L-Hot does have the baller backup for Clam Blitz in particular, which actually makes a lot of sense. Object Shredder as well, which is a little bit weird for a weapon without a bomb.
Also no bubbles on Black Belly Clam Blitz.
A little strange. Although I think the baller can kind of make up for that. The Inkstorm, not quite. So we'll have to see how that works out. But we've talked about in the past on other tournaments that this is really a map where you have to collect all the power clams and then just kind of like jump in with them. Like we know that can backfire on a lot of maps, but it's really hard to go from 0 to hero from the other team on this map, and it's really hard to go for a quote-unquote honest push.
Yeah, well, I mean, the capture points are so freaking far away from each other.
And they're far away from our clam spawn, too, so it's not like you can keep putting clams in after the initial push.
Yeah, so like it's easier to go for those risky jump-in, like, hero plays. And it looks like here, just for the Halibut's getting really aggressive.
Oh, Elhot climbing up the wall here, so he is going to go in first. Someone else is going to, they're just going to have to wait for Elhot, actually.
They got a little long
They
there.
got too many splats leading up to that, so they couldn't actually open the barrier, but they need to throw in more clams there. We start to see some going in, all the way down to 62. Not the biggest opening push, but, I mean, honestly, an opening push of just one power clam is good in Clam Blitz, and someone's still there. Let's see what's going on.
They refreshed it, but they did die, so they, that does distract them long enough here, so that just for the Halibut's going to get the middle of the map back for them.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a neutral situation.
Yeah. The natural state of the first push really leaves the enemy in a position where they can't really push back that well. Like, even in this situation, they're not really going to be able to push back that well. So the fact that they were able to get to 56 off that initial push is a huge advantage for just for the Halibut into the rest of this game. It's really up to them to just make sure that they continue to play that advantage to a win.
Yeah, Matt there was just sitting with that, I think it was Matt with the baller. Yeah, Matt was just sitting with that baller waiting to move out, and then they got pushed back by specialists, and now that baller's not going to be used as effectively. Now they're calling for the jump in. Not quite. They don't have the clam.
They could build one. Honestly, but Mamba getting kills. Mamba doesn't understand what's going on. It's like, my teammates just aren't pushing the clams. I don't know what's going on. But in all seriousness, it does seem to be kind of slowed down for just the Halibut. I don't think they're going to be making this push. I mean, Mamba does have these 3 clams, so maybe if she somehow gets hold of more, but no, Los just very wary of the possibilities. Pre-fires that corner, gets the pick, and now it's back to a neutral situation.
Yeah, I think that was kind of just for the Halibut not being quite as familiar with Clam Blitz's like way of pushing up, because you can't just immediately push up after a wipe. They do get the break, but that's
what clams are going in. It's Black Belly, man. If you don't show up with your clams, they're not getting deposited. Yep. Like, to be honest, that's just how this map works. And those Inklings, and we also talked about going for a single clam push that's not at the beginning of the game really puts you in a position where your opponent can make these huge counter pushes. I mean, look at the penalties. Look at how many power clams that just for the Halibut has. Fortunately, Matt gets some really clutch picks right here. That power clam can't quite be picked up. Elhot saves it. What's he going to do with it? He's going to run.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a little too aggressive there. That wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he really didn't have much of a sort of choice, make them chase you back to their base. Your teammates are going to have more of an opportunity to kind of push up. But this is a bad situation for just for the Halibut, because they gave up those power clams that they were kind of given to by the enemy team. They gave up all this map control. Now there are power clams being built by those Inklings.
Yep, they got double power clam ready to go. That is enough to take the lead, I believe, right here.
So no, this is kind of bad for Matt. There are blasters watching him, and Elhot's just like,
out of nowhere, hi.
Your backside.
And those bubbles.
Is this the object shredder coming into play? No.
Yep. So Teresa, this I don't even understand what's happening anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this is just basically both teams kind of rubbing their faces against this hallway. And that's also why we talked about Cheese being so good on this, right? Because it's so hard to make an honest push down this stupid hallway. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie 300, but it's basically the same thing. It's just better to Cheese. It's meta, at least how we understand how the game plays now.
Well, I mean, it's also like, if you don't run bubbles specifically, it's like so easy.
Yeah,
to block.
bubbles would make this a lot easier.
Bubbles are like the one thing where it's like, yeah, that is a guaranteed push. But
yeah, Mamba here is going to be a jump marker for this power clam. No, Elhot once again following in with the power clam, which is a little bit strange of a move, but
that positioning right there.
That is going to be points on the board. Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way that they're not getting any points right here. El Hot right now being the distraction. Lowe's being taken down. More power clans regular clans will start being thrown in. Mamba being aggressive, backing up her teammate, gets an effective trade. Can they put in any more clams? I don't think so. They can. They can. Someone's being sneaky somewhere. There's people jumping in. What are you going to do about this? You're going after the spawn kill instead of the person giving points. 16. You have to push it to 15 in overtime.
That was like a free 15 points because they just couldn't figure out who was throwing that at the end.
And they that was, oh boy, just for the hell of it. Got to be feeling really confident after that one.
Yeah.
Most Inklings got to be going to Twitter to try to get Clan Blitz banned after that one.
So yeah, that was game 3, right?
That was game 4? I think.
Oh, so it's tied up 2-2.
Is it tied up 2-2?
We have 2 game 5s in a row.
Let me.
Can we see the map list?
Can we see the map list again, guys? We lost track of everything.
Map list. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5? Okay, yeah, that was game 4. Okay, that was game 4. All right, good, yeah. Zara over here, he's like 5, and then like these fingers and like this face, and points at himself, and we're just like, dude, we're stupid.
Well, anyway, game 5, tower control, Reef. If Just for the Halibut goes back to the tower control comp that they ran earlier, I could see them winning this just outright. Maybe Los Inklings will have something that they can adapt with.
Okay.
But I would be surprised. The thing is here that Matt isn't going to be very effective if he plays E-Leader.
I feel like if he could just play Splatterscope,
yeah,
it would be so much better for Matt because.
Well, I mean, he might go to the NZAP.
He could go. NZAP's not bad here.
Yeah.
I mean, suction bombs are really good. Armor is really good on this map in particular because there's always going to be a Stingray, so being able to armor up as part of a countermeasure to that Stingray really softens the blow, especially with the nerf version of it that already does less damage. You're really in good shape. I honestly, like, I haven't seen the custom E-Leader out of Matt, and I almost feel like he should be bringing it out more.
I mean, I feel like that's the better one on anything that's not zones for sure, and then even some zones.
Yeah,
like,
because think about you're respawning.
Yeah.
You're leaving your base. You go to drop down. There's bubbles underneath that the E-Leader just keeps farming. Because he's backline and the other members of the team just like completely use those bubbles to either make it so you can't jump down or make it so it's ouchie, ouchie, boo-boo and you lose. So we'll see what comes out of that.
Ouchie, boo-boo,
ouchie,
and
ouchie,
you lose.
boo-boo. I'm trying to.
That's a quote.
I'm not
ouchie, ouchie, boo-boo,
well,
and
I can't
you lose.
say kill on stream. I have to learn how to say it. But we'll see how much ouchie, ouchie, boo-boo Matt ends up bringing to the table. So, this is okay. So NZAP and the Stingray. So this is really their adjustment when Matt isn't going to go E-Leader, and that's 3 mains of special charge out of Matt. Interesting pick. We actually have a custom blaster for I think the first time.
No, they ran that a few games ago.
Oh, did they? All right, cool. Well, this game it's going to be El Hot get taken out by the brush, and honestly, as a Dapple, like I mess with like Dapple and Spoof sometimes because I think they're fun. Brushes are such a pain because they outrange you. They don't have a hard counter. It's just.
But with Dapples, you can kind of play around it because if they get the jump on you and you double roll in a V formation, you can kind of get out of their thing.
You can at least survive and come back and get a really quick CTK on them later. Crispy going down. El Hot. So this was a pretty good initial push. They're actually still in the tower. I don't think so the Halibut realized
oh my gosh, it's still
there.
going. Okay,
there we go. All right, so it ends up being a few extra points from that little sneaky play right there. But what ended up being a really strong opening push from Los Inklings ended up being taken out. But actually, now I look at it, a lot of Just for the Halibut members were taken down. And Mamba is pushing up with this bubble blower, but doesn't really accomplish much. So other members of her team are going to have to use specials to make up for this. It is a 3v2 situation, so not the worst kind of situation as another pick happens for Just for the Halibut that was looking a little bit sketchy after they defended that push seemingly so well. They had 3 people go down.
Yeah, I don't agree with how Mamba used the special there, but it kind of worked out for them and gave them a lot of map control. But
he has another one.
Yeah.
Already we talked about putting these bubbles up in this kind of situation. Now, one thing Mamba was doing is she was kind of popping his bubbles preemptively. I think she should have waited for it, but I think I think it might have walked into that bubble and then had to back up and died to the bomb. I'm not really sure what happened there, but Teresa uses the Stingray early. Just for the Halibut kind of control the middle of the map. Until that happens, that combined fire on Just for the Halibut is going to take them out, as now they are in a pretty poor situation. One special ready for Los Inklings, another special ready for Los Inklings. This is probably going to be a push soon.
Yeah, this is definitely looking good for Los Inklings to kind of make something aggressive here. They are taking a long time to do this though, so just for the Halibut's getting their specials and really pushing them back, and I feel like that was
left right now. This seems to happen so often when Matt's the only person left. Even when he's playing NZAP, he just kind of seems to naturally be the last one alive. As Just for the Halibut is definitely making a huge push. They hopefully have someone over to the left to make sure that that angle's covered. They have Paige up here putting splash damage on the enemy plat to make sure this is covered. He has missiles, which he definitely can use as soon as his team starts to get an advantage and back up. He does back up. He needs to use those missiles soon, though, preferably on that Stingray, as Just for the Halibut needs more pressure, more picks to be able to continue pushing this tower.
Yeah, they're not really getting the kills they need to clear this out, but like, do finally clean up Los Crispy. This is a full wipe there, and this is definitely the lead, if not maybe a knockout.
Elhot just take out the Storm.
Bubbles again. Mamba. How much special charge does Mamba run?
I really want to know. I mean, there are 2 bubble. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, actually. No, there's only 1 bubble. There's a bunch of Inkstorms, and this is going to be a huge push out Just for the Halibut. All the way up to 12. Elhot skedaddling right now as he jumps to the bottom mid. Is anyone going to chase him? I can't quite tell. He is definitely delaying a push.
Oh, he's still alive there.
He's still hiding.
Oh,
this is
sneaky.
Ooh, he can definitely.
They're leaving the tower alone here.
Oh, doesn't quite get the kill, but
can
Teresa get the kill on the tower? I'm not quite sure, but Elhot definitely put a big pause on any kind of counter push. Even though the rest of the team is getting taken out by Los Inklings on the other side of the map, the fact that Elhot was able to stop the tower from moving is really good for Just the Halibut. It's going to give them an extra opportunity to do something about this loss of map control.
Yeah, that was a very smart, very patient play. I mean, and there's not even really anything Los Inklings could have done to prevent that, because they did paint all around him, and he just happened to be in that tiny little pixel.
Well, he made it look like he was running away to bottom mid, and then slowly kind of, I don't know if he's running Ninja Squid or he just really paced himself well or what, but ends up working out for him as Jolts ends up getting more picks, and now it is Los Inklings that has barely any time left on the board, being kind of desperate. And it's Just for the Halibut that's in a commanding position. They have the specials, they have the numbers, they have control of the objective. Like, this is looking really good for them. They might not even really push the tower that much. I mean, I think that they should, but it looks like they're just focused on taking out Los Inklings 1 or 2 more times and putting it in the match to make it possible for them.
That was a big fight for the Blaster to win there, but doesn't quite clean up Elhot.
Yeah,
now Elhot's just causing chaos here.
You know, a range Blaster's worst, or even a regular Blaster, one of your worst enemies are dualies. I mean, that's one of the
especially
things.
Dapples.
Yeah, especially Dapples. I mean, one of the big changes from the main weapon from Splat 1 and Splat 2 is that the dualies really do counter everything that's not base shooters. Not counter, but they really give them a hard time. You know, anything with a low rate
that has
fire.
a slow fire rate, especially on land too, because when you can just juke everything, it's just like free.
Paige?
Oh, okay.
There we go.
So yeah, Paige just having a lot of fun right now. Knows that all they got to do right now is just keep slaying. And yeah, Mamba with yet another bubble. That's got to be at least the 5th one I've seen.
It's going to be another player taken out right here. Los trying to do something about this plat. And Los Inklings looking earlier like they were probably in the better call to win. Really?
This push, but
that sense out of my mouth.
I mean, that to me spells that Just for the Halibut, their mode is tower control, because they've really played both tower control games like
really well.
Really well. Like, that was an initial free push from Los Inklings. I think that was pretty much off the back of winning that initial fight, but after that, just for the Halibut pretty much had
look at the KDs.
Did what they wanted to do. Yeah, like looking at the KDs alone.
That's just such a huge difference between the two. And you know.